We're in a dilemma at the moment because this is the next room that we have to work on, but it's full of stuff. A lot of stuff we're probably still going to use, like the shower screen, some of the timber and all that sort of stuff. But we've got a lot of tools left over. We've got a bit of rubbish, but we've got nowhere to store it. And we wanted to build a shed.
Which we thought we'd do this week.
Yeah, but we're just running out of time. So we've come up with a solution. And what we're going to do is, well, we'll show you what we're going to do. So follow Jake.
I'm in charge, apparently. So, coming this way. So, just off the lounge room, kitchen, bathroom, there's actually 2 cupboards. One is, I'm assuming, would have been a linen cupboard, and another one, I'm not entirely sure. But our plan for it is, this one's going to be where we put our dryer. Our washing machine is already in our kitchen. But our dryer is going to go in here, and it's going to be the linen cupboard. So we've got to make sure that the shelving that goes in here will be high enough to go above the dryer, and obviously enough space in there. And the other one, we are going to make our pantry, because the kitchen is teeny tiny, well, compared to Australian standards. We just thought that might actually work really well to just have some of the stuff. Not all of the essentials like tea and coffee and biscuits. They'll be in the kitchen right where you need them. So that is our plan, to paint these 2 cupboards and put some shelving in. We're going to use it as storage for our tools at the moment. And then when we actually move in, we can build the shed and, make it more workable as a livable space rather than a work site.
That's really good information for me to know, because I actually thought the dryer was going in there because it was easier access.
He just doesn't listen, does he?
Apparently not. But I do remember actually the dryer was going in here because I had to put a PowerPoint through for that to happen. It's actually, I'm glad that Jack said that, because now I know how to build these cupboards. Due to time constraints, we're probably going to do things a little bit out of sequence. Jack's starting to do some painting to the major part of the wall. I'm going to start to cut up the flooring. Once we get that in, we'll do skirtings in there, and then get the shelving up. So I'd love to get that done today. I think that'd be a big step to making sure the other room can start soon.
So I'm painting, but I'm using primer and undercoat, and it is honestly like painting with SPF 50 sun cream. It is so thick.
All right, while the undercoat's drying, I'm actually going to start to measure up for the shelving. Now we have to try to think about how to put the shelving in. If you actually look at the door height, we're looking about just under 2 meters. But the thing is, I think 1600 will be where we want the final shelf to be, because if we've got anything above that, it's going to be too hard to put things in. We could put another little shelf up there for things we don't use often, okay? But so, being 1600, you should know the factors. Well, my students should know the factors of 16.
Here comes the maths teacher, Mr. Taylor.
Mr. Taylor. So we've gone with 4. So 4 times 4, 16. So we get 4 even shelves. Quick little challenge. How many spaces will that give me? Yep, 5. Work that one out. So on this side, we're 440. On this side though, this is what you've got to love about old council flats in Edinburgh, is we're 445. So it's not square. But the reality is we can get away with not making, just by making the square. We'll actually bring it in a little bit, and I might even just go 400. Okay, a little bit of gap at the front won't be too bad. Now, you'll notice I'm fairly dark in here. Other cupboards usually have one light there, right? And I'm realising the paint is still wet.
That's the second time he's done that.
Well, it's not too wet, at least it didn't stay on my hands. Train of thought, what was I saying? Lighting, there you go. I was in the dark about my thoughts, missed what I was saying. Now, anyway, so we want to put some lighting in it. So we're having trying to work out whether we put one light in, but we're thinking we might actually put strip lining under all the shelves just to highlight it a bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this timber here. It's actually doorstop stuff. It's 32 by 12, and it will be strong enough to hold the shelves in place, because you know, realistically, look at half the shelves in your cupboard. It's probably just got little shelf supports. So this will be more than enough. I don't want to overdo it with a big stud, so I'm going to put this in. Now, I've got to cut them to 400. I've got everything that I need to start the shelving. We'll have to go out and actually buy the shelving for it. It's come time for me to start to put the shelf supports in. I'll show you how I'm going to go about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a laser level, then use the wood, draw a line with it. The reason I'm doing that is because I know that the laser level will be blocked by me working in the cupboard. So if I actually just use that, I could use a normal level, but I think this will work in here. Yeah, and then I'll drill some holes, put some anchor points in it. I'll anchor it and glue it into the wall. Now, that is good because it's sheer weight. The screws alone will actually take a fair bit of the weight. The weight's going to be distributed across the wood, and it's glued on, so it really evenly distributes the weight. So I think this is going to be good. Now I'll just go on to the rest.
So no doubt all of you have had a teacher at school that always has the largest set of keys hanging off their pants. Well, Michael takes this to a new thing. We've got a hammer, a caulking gun, pair of scissors, a drill. No doubt there's a measuring tape. He did have a Stanley knife before. All manner of things.
Makes it easy. It's come time to put the shelving in. I'm going to use my electronic tape measure. Tape measure? It's not really a tape, is it? But anyway, my electronic measurer. Now, one of the things to remember when you're doing one of these old council flats is measure every shelf, because they are going to be completely different. For an example, if I start here, I'm 885. Okay. If I go over here, 889, 890. Over here, 885 again. So it definitely has a curve. But if I go down to the bottom, or say this one here, or 889. So we've just come down to the hardware to grab some of the melamine for the shelving.
So we've come to B&Q, which is the equivalent of Bunnings.
But not as good as Bunnings.
They're nowhere near as good. They don't have a sausage sizzle.
And me as a vegetarian, I still don't mind the smell of the sausage sizzle at Bunnings. But anyway, we're going to grab some melamine. I looked at it online. We can get a 2 metre length by the right height, and we're going to chuck it on the roof, I think, to get it home. So,
well, you know they have a cutting service.
Of course I did. Okay. Yeah. What I meant to say is we're going to get it cut to size. My problem is I can't remember the exact sizes.
That's why he brings me along.
Yeah. I should be able to cut it close to size. But I was thinking about it. We're going to cut it 420 long instead of the 400 that we measured, because I want to put a strip along the front that's going to really shore up the shelving. So here we go.
Woohoo!
Up to the Big Hammer store. That's a Bluey reference, okay? And that's dealing with Bunnings. Well, rather than actually cut the wood ourselves, we decided to get them to do it. They'll actually do 5 cuts for free. So a bit of a no-brainer in my opinion. Excellent.
Righto, I've got it.
First one, I'll be doing at 885 minus 2, so 883. This one I will do square because I know that should work fine. So one thing to consider is that the chipping is mainly going to happen on the saw side, so the top side. So if you're happy with chipping on one side, which we can be on this job, because what we will do is we'll just make sure that was the part that goes down onto the shelves and you'd never see it. But I'll show you what to do to prevent that a little bit. What we're going to do, you notice I've actually got the battery out. All right. I'm going to adjust it so that I'm actually only going to take a small amount out. And what I also have is I have a high tooth count on my saw, so that's going to help prevent it a little bit, but this is the trick. So I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so you'll notice, probably could have moved my gate that way a little bit, but because I've allowed a couple of mil, that's fine. You'll notice now, no chipping. So now what I can do, if you want to, you can do a few at a time, so just go another little bit down. You probably could get away with just doing the proper cut now, but just to show you. Still looking good. And there we have it. Small amount of chipping in one section, but all good there. A tiny chip there, but nothing bad. But if we look on the underside, I haven't seen it, but I'm confident there's not going to be much chipping there either, because as I said, it's the side that the saw's on that chips. Wow. I had the other GoPro up, set up to get that shot, but I didn't hit record. So that's why you're getting all the footage from this camera. The reason why we got to cut to 420 instead of 400 was because we actually want to put something here to shore up the shelf a little bit, because if we look at it, it could bow there. So I'll show you what I'm thinking about doing. So we're going to get a piece of timber. That was the chipping that I'm talking about. That actually happened with the store cut. So I'll actually bring this in. Or actually that's going to be too long. And we're going to put that across the front. And that's going to be able to really strengthen it. Now, that may be a bit too thick, so we'll have to cut that down, I think. So that's the concept that we want. And if you look at it, if we actually put something on there, you see in here, if we put something in there heavy, see how much it sort of bows? So we're going to put this in to shore it up, but we need the boss to say if that's too big. Judging by the pores, I'm thinking it is a bit too big.
I think it is. Half that?
Half that? Yeah, I really don't want to cut it down. That's just me being lazy.
My only thought is, you might have your own opinion, but my thought is if you're trying to get something from this shelf and it is that little bit tall, it's going to be that, I'm going to have to work out the hypotenuse to work it out, get it out of there.
True.
I was listening.
So, and one of the benefits of this is actually we want to put strip lighting on every shelf. So this will be actually a good spot to hide it. So that'll actually be good.
I think half of that
Half
will
of that.
still give us that. So
Yeah, right.
the boss lady says half.
Half. So we'll roughly do half. We'll see what's better.
Roughly?
I'll do what I'm told. I think that's the
I'll
best
go
option.
back to painting.
Just looking at the board, which one I want facing the front. I think I'll go with this side facing the front. So what I'm going to do is actually have that facing the top because it's the saw side that does the chipping. So the bench in this case. Here we go. So, little chip, but not much. But on this side, a lot more chipping. So, yeah. So here we go. Bit of a dry fit. That end there, the chipping, we're going to make sure that's at the back. We can go in here. Yep. And I think that will work fine. Result. I think that does look a lot better too. So what I'm doing now is actually going to cut both at the same time. And I'll show you why. Well, one, to save time, but the other thing is hopefully what will happen is we'll get chipping on this top one, but we should get minimal chipping on there, providing that this is nice and tight. Because as I said, it's the raking of the wood out that creates it. So if you actually have them snug, it's less likely to happen. Now, what I want to show you is, have a look at this. That's the worst chipping that we've had. And that's because when the saw blade's coming back up, it's got more material that's going to just grab against there and break it. But hopefully, look at that. Nice and clean cut. So if you're cutting timber, a couple of techniques. If you actually got a sacrificial board, you can put that in on the top, and that will be the one that breaks while it keeps there. But it has to be nice and tight. If there's gaps between it, then both boards will chip out. What I'm doing here is just putting some guides so that I know where to drill. Done. Nice and secure. Really think that's actually shorted up a bit more, and I think it's just going to look great when we've got lights in behind here. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Now, although we've built it for a pantry, it's actually going to get used for a bit of tool storage at the moment. So we have some bubble wrap, we have some cardboard and some paper that we're just going to protect the shelves from.
This is the last room to do. I'm actually surprised at how much we got done today. I didn't think we'd get this room empty, but it's looking quite good. So we'll show you where we put everything, okay? Maybe Jack will lead you up there to show you.
I don't know. I just reallocated where it was, really.
Actually, as we go out, the radiator was put in by Josh today, and Jack helped. Just hung, not plumbed yet.
But pretty much tools and bits and pieces in there.
Bit of makeshift shelving, so that's temporary stuff.
Shelving that Michael put up today, but we did actually put some paper over just to protect the sheets. But yeah, that's all our bits and pieces that we've still got to fit, or plumbing and electrical stuff. So.
Yeah. Unfortunately though, I wish we had a bit more room, but we don't. So this is our living room.
With a set of golf clubs.
A set of golf clubs. That was left by the old person, so decided to keep them. And the boiler room, we've had to store stuff in there for now, just until we get things sorted. We do have the carpet coming tomorrow morning or afternoon, we're not sure yet. I was hoping that this room would be empty, but it's not. It is what it is. but at least now we can get started on the other room as well. So I think all in all, we did better than I thought today. So I'm happy.